Hey y'all, my name is Fuzzus. I am fairly hairy and I play games. I am returning today to the beginner's guide. We are continuing our journey through the game designer Coda's uh, multiple games as conveyed by his friend who has compiled them for us. Um, and we're gonna see what happens. I've looked up the duration of this game and it says it's about an hour and a half. So I see no reason that we can't finish it together today. So we're gonna keep pushing through. We're gonna see what happens, and we are gonna try to complete the beginner's guide today. Um, we pick up in the middle of this level. Um, looking at the notes that Coda wrote, ostensibly as notes left by other users of the internet, but they're all written by Coda in this game. Okay.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Okay, I can...
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
I don't know if I'm 100% behind this. It does kind of make sense in that the puzzle with the door is like an acceptance of, of fate, of something in control of your destiny, right? Because the designer of the game, the game... Right. It's funny because he's writing all of these notes about his own puzzle that he designed. He knows perfectly well how it works, and he wants it to...
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Which does make sense. I'm a little nervous about all this whispering and whatnot, but okay, let's move on and see what Coda has in store for. And I still hold to my original theory that this is an act of faith. You are sealing the agreement with the designer when you flip that lever and you walk into this door that's going to close with no obvious solution. You trust that this lever, this switch, is going to be there in some way to let you move on. It's an act of faith. It's an honoring of the agreement between the designer and the player. And if you want to expand it out to life in general, maybe it's, accepting your fate, moving on, and knowing that there's always going to be a way forward, even if it doesn't look like there's gonna. So, enough philosophizing, let's push on. Ooh, here, there's that orange again. A lot of it, too. And just one lone comment in this hallway. This feels important. How do you leave notes? Note also the sound of the typewriter, coughing, and other quiet people noises. There's the street lamp. Something is happening here. Oh, it's all typewriters. All the way. All the people writing the notes. Okay, I get it. Alright. That's kind of moving in a weird, creepy way. I don't... It makes me feel things, but I don't know what I feel, and I don't know how to express it. orange stars
Okay,
die
this
too.
one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. I have a little door here, but I'm not convinced that that's the right way. Let's see. We got some shelves, couches, end table. This little barred window. We can see a well through here. We can also see something over there. Some kind of design. It looks like. Pretty sky, sunlight, beam background, but off background. Okay, so nothing happening here. All right, move on. See how this spins its wheels. Oh, so this is the same kind of pattern that we saw through the window. Interesting little texture. It's considering that all of these things are supposed to be little manufactured games put together by just some dude. I do like the assets. I feel like, the textures and everything, they're somehow both generic and they also have a lot of character. Um, I don't know if this game was built entirely out of assets. I think this is Unity engine. I don't know if this game was built entirely out of these just cookie cutter assets that come with it, or if some of this stuff was done specifically for the beginner's guide. But either way, I like it. It creates a feel to it, a definite feel to it. In the well now. Okay.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Yeah, that well, by the way that I came in completely disappeared. Now it's just completely closed in. Okay. So this is the same. Huh. What a giant hole in the ground. Oh, it's still the coffee table. All huge picture of a horse. Like that. And it's couches, of course. Live Tesla coils in each corner. That sounds like my sort of thing. And it's a lamp. There's a table already. None of my choices are making any difference. It's obvious, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I do kind of want to say tables were invented in. Whoa.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I'll agree to that. Oh, I can't go.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
No. I refuse. I'm not going to walk forward. I'm going to look around first. Whiteness, 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 whiteness. Above us, whiteness. Below us, whiteness. All around us, whiteness. Okay, yeah, if we're playing with the prison idea, it's hard to find where I started. Yeah, I guess if we're playing with the prison idea, then obviously you have no choice. You can escape any prison. Yeah, I clicked on the table. Photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Okay. Turn the floor lamp off and then back on. Okay, off, on. I'll go to the left side sofa. Move it over a little. Okay. Finally touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. There's those dots again! Oh, okay. So I have to return to the start to be taken back to my prison. I guess that's the pad that I started on. Return. Alright. Now I need to remember all the steps. Still in the prison.
And of course, Now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Of course.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically
There's the puzzle.
unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on?
I doubt.
But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
What? Okay, there's the light. How is this a version of the prison game if the prison isn't actually in it? What? Also notice that the surroundings are featureless. There's no texture to it. It's just you can see the lighting in it. I don't know enough about game engines to know if it's all from that light post, but this is there's no sky, there's no nothing. Flat featureless gray and these edge walls that don't really do any. Is that a phone booth? Oh. Okay, I feel like I see. This is kind of the opposite of a prison. Limitless expanse. Limitless, featureless expanse. And yes, that is a phone booth. So is Coda saying that this is the solution to a prison, or is having this infinite, boundless expanse just another prison? Because our guide did tell us that it was another variation on the prison game. Well, let's move forward, I guess. Okay, I know that the light symbolizes the levels. Go. Oh, I'm in. I can't move at all right now. It's Fuzzus. It's me, I'm you after you escape from prison. I mean, yes, you put me here.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Oh, this makes feels. This absolutely makes feels. God, this is very germane to stuff that has happened with me very recently. I don't know how to answer this. But it actually does change. Break out of the... No. Yeah, age just kind of does that, you know? I mean, no, I didn't. I'm the first person to call back. Do I want old me to find new me? Look, just be honest, man.
I can see why he
Ugh.
considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Right in the feels, my God. Okay, alright, moving on. Ooh, that gave me chill. Okay.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Okay. Well, this is bleak
To
and
me, this
desolate.
environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay, I see. Door, transition, dark transitional space. But is this the prison again? No, it's a house. So do I can. Well, let's explore the house before we continue on to the door. Oh, hey. Great. Again. Okay. Right off the bat. Okay, so we're in this dark transitional space right now, right? Between the doors of Coda's puzzle. There's the door that we came in from, there's the door that we pass on through. Oh, great. Love the relaxing, calming music. Okay. So, my interpretation of this is that where we are right now, this little house, it's very comfortable. It's very idyllic. It's very nice. It's got the welcoming music. It's got this cubehead guy that we're gonna have to deal with in a moment, but on the whole, what we're dealing with is that this is a comfortable, welcoming, homey place, but it's in the dark space between. And that means that you can stay here and you can feel comfortable, but your progression being more, moving on from where you were, it's going to be closed off to you. So again, an idea that sort of resonates with me, especially lately. But let's look around and yeah, I mean this is nice bathroom, very nice clean. This is a trap, essentially. This is the place that tricks you into staying, and all you're ever gonna do is sit in this house, and all you're ever something slightly wrong with it. One slight wrongness that spilled glass. Something to tell you that not everything is right here. I shouldn't have come in anyway, but I think I had to. Oh, yeah, the overly friendly.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
But you're just doing meaningless chores in this little comfortable hideaway that's stuck in the dark place, and you're not moving, you're not changing. You're not becoming anything. Yeah. Do you enjoy being the house cleaner? Is this what you want? Eat it. About all that matters. Yeah, you distract yourself with the silly little things, the day-to-day things, keeping things neat and tidy and never progressing. Ever. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Yeah, make it especially cheesy. I do like cheesy. I'm a big fan. I like. A tub. I know what's in there. Don't need to be perfect when scrubbing the tub. Yeah, see, it's cyclical.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
No, I disagree. This is bad. This is very, very bad. Everything just repeats itself.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
But it's wrong. It's wrong. It's not. You're stuck still. You can't leave this house. You can't. The door closes behind you as soon as you walk in. You can't progress. You can't make. And sure, it's nice to be here. It's relaxing. The lighting is warm. There's nice music in the background. You're doing these easy chores over and over and over again, but you're never, ever, ever moving on. And no, this is wrong. Bit of truth in it, but look at him. His entire singular purpose is to clean, and so why am I doing it for him? No, I'm. It's possible I'm thinking too hard. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it. Maybe this is just supposed to be a happy little stopover in the otherwise bleak and chaotic and lonely life that is Coda's games. But that door is there, and that is the second door that you pass through, and there's the first door, and we have that. Like the narrator said, there's a consistency in that puzzle that shows up over and over and over again, and we can't complete it because we're stuck here doing chores in this perfect little environment that's beautiful but pointless. Absolutely pointless. This feels like MMOs.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Wrong. I disagree. I'm sorry. This is
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
See, that I agree with. And also I think it's very telling that the host, the cleaning bot, NPC, whatever you want to call it, its last question was, "Do you enjoy this?" And then, it disappears and it's all done. Um, I do feel like since this game is very much rooted in game design and ideas of game design, it's grind games. MMOs are the classic example, right? You just kill 10 rats and then you kill 10 more rats. And you do the same thing and it's very comfortable and you enjoy it very much, but you never really grow. Never really learn. I don't know. And hey, yeah. There's that light, the proof of growth and learning and
Which is
moving.
the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Make it sound like you were wrong.
This one gets a bit goofy.
Alright. I'm in a lecture hall. Listening to TalkBot over here. I cannot move. I'm teleporting around the lecture hall.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Whoa. Once again, this is one of those things that,
And you
hey.
play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
There's a light post. There's student who I think is roughly where I first started. That's interesting. The freaking black hole up there in the back wall of the classroom. I look at the grayed out dialogue options. I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Oh, let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. We've got false promises here. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Don't you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. You, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? I'm feeling things start to tie together. But I'm not quite understanding. I'm totally focused on that black hole right now, because while I'm puzzling through this, I'm not even looking at the other dialogue choices, because this game is saying something, and feel like I'm close to hearing it, but not quite. So, seek out only one thing was the easiest, simplest path forward. Ha, just kidding. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? And then the third option, there is no truth, there is no pain. Obviously, these are the choices that you can make are the false choices. The grayed out options are more genuine, more true, but you can't choose them. Oh, you can choose them. Okay. Coming for you is going to destroy you.
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable
Perfection.
experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
Oh, it's true.
I think about this
Absolutely.
game a lot these days.
Yeah, I agree with the narrator completely on that. That's very easy. Oh, it's the
This one
prison.
took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Backstage. We climb this ladder? That would be. We can jump, but we cannot climb. Oh. Because it looks like it goes cool places. Cool places. But yeah, this is a pretty intricate backstage. Lots of things. Oh, hey, you clip straight through these cases. Oh. Can't actually do anything, but it is very big and very realized, I guess. It looks authentic-y, not actually usable. Yeah, I figured that was gonna happen. Still kind of scared me. Okay. We'll be playing as me. Okay, let's lean against the wall. Okay, so we need to talk to this woman who's a professional animal photographer, and it is our one chance to learn something, to gain something, to succeed. She is wise. Hi. And given the options that you gave me, it's a great start to a conversation. Ugh. No. And none of these options are good. Fine, let's be honest. Let's be sincere like we told our past selves in an earlier game. I'm super scared right now. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. Okay, so now we've been introduced to these props, tones that repel you, it should be said. Bounce off of them. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. Hey! Ugh. Happy, focused, successful, wise. Nothing on the top. Is there anybody in the audience? No, nobody's actually watching. Nowhere that I... Alright. Sure, we'll step behind the stage. Back towards the street light. Alright, I'm here. Going to keep going back. Okay. That thing. Huh. So I can't do the stage anymore. The light doesn't do anything for me. There's just this empty hallway. Stretches on.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
Yeah, you think that was unhealthy?
After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Yeah, do you think that was unhealthy? Just a little bit? Maybe a little? Just keep your eyes closed. Click to begin. I don't know if I... Okay, alright, I'll play your game. Okay, so I'm not going to turn on my webcam, but my eyes are currently closed. I will keep them closed until such time as I am directed to open them again. Alright, we've got some, like, battle music. I'm just pressing keys randomly, but I don't know that I'm actually moving or anything. I assume I'm looking around. Maybe I can jump. Maybe. Okay. I'm just gonna go forward.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Oh, hey, it's the door. Everybody's blind. Okay. Oh, hey, it's the Whisper. The Whisper Drive was the first game that he made. And crash. Okay. Start over. So there's a solution. Okay. What's going on? There's the dots. There's the dots. Okay. Don't let this be forever. Everybody's blind. Going to crash. Research. Am I going to be killed by a giant door? No, there's a solution to this, and I feel like I can figure it out. It's just the door puzzle, right? Except on a timer. Truth. The way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. I am bursting with creative energy. No, that isn't truthful. See, it knows. Ah, crap, the door. Okay. I think I know what the truthful answer has to be, knowing what I know about Coda, and the only possible answer is that's true is I can't keep making these.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
This is gonna end really bad. But we're gonna push on. We're gonna finish this. Okay, this is nice. Where did this island come from? Stepping stones to another island. Well, could use a little guidance, not gonna lie. When I try to create, I feel empty. That discordance in the music. Trying to find the sentence that you expect me to start it again. I know where it is. I need to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Because he needs to say something. You know, in the last game he said, I can't say the thing. I don't understand how to convey the ideas, how to say what I'm feeling.
From my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
First you open the door. I have to close the door. Step through. Now just press the switch here. Right?
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
This is all the dialogue that I said. There's no machine here. That's creepy, the sobbing in the background. Games is effortless. Weird. But it wasn't true. Worry about it, just talking, keep saying that creation is easy.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
These are all things that I've chosen in the past, I can tell.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
I feel you there, buddy. This is... Oh. Oh.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
This is... Hey, it's the machine. I can only assume it's the machine that we were looking for. It's the puzzle. But this time there's a guard. Let's make it quick. Oh no. I can't do that. Oh. No, 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 I don't want to do this. No, I really don't.
And of course, it's the machine.
It's the machine. This is intensely uncomfortable. So this machine is Coda, is the developer, and we are currently berating it for stopping making I've seen the thing that you fear. Alright, I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. Because he can't communicate. Ugh, this is just... There's a knot in my stomach, and there's a bad taste in my mouth, and everything about this is... So, basically, great game. But... Oh, God, this... Friends! Falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. Find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. There's the door. There's the stage. And the door. The gun from the first game. Yeah, and now blowing holes. Universe. Fun. Sure, you are known forever. Is that what you're scared of? Exposed to the view of others every day, forever, seen in naked clarity?
And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Coda is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this,
the typewriters from the internet game.
I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
The peaceful room with all of his ideas.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one,
the door,
and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
But that's not what it's about, is... Oh, that has an uncomfortable amount of personness to it now. I mean, just tell me how, and I'll be happy to put it down. I really don't want to do this. I understand that I'm now pointing the weapon at Coda, and I understand that I can't move around. I'm wiggling my mouse like crazy.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And
right.
I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
And I would have done the same thing, but it's not the right thing, is it?
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Oh, I don't want to see the tower. Oh, I really don't want to see the tower. Okay. All right, let's do this. All right, Leroy Jenkins. Oh, this is...
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. it feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
It very much is. There's that orange again, but not warm anymore. It's cold and stony and very forced into grids. Yeah, there's no joy in this
This
at
room
all.
actually has a maze in it.
Like his second game?
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Yeah, that is unpleasant. I mean, there's no... Okay. Show me. Something... This was chosen for a specific reason. The orange color, it's bright and warm, and it's the bright and warm thing in this entire place. Well, 128.128. I don't know any sort of significance to, but here we go.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Oh no. This feels really bad.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
I mean, that's what was on the walls, right? 128.128. I can't fully express to you how uncomfortable I am right now. How the sense of dread and wrongness that this is absolutely driving into my gut. As far as evoking emotions and feelings and connecting with the player on that level, yeah, absolutely. Right. But this is just like the maze, it's just random crap that you have to just put your head down and push through to progress, and there's no joy in it, there's no good feeling that comes from it. I don't... If I'd spent hours just trying to figure out that random code, I wouldn't have felt satisfied. If I'd spent hours plowing my way through that maze and mapping out every single little individual wall and every step I needed to make to get through it, there'd be no happiness in that, no sense of accomplishment when I got through it. It's just time wasted. Nothing but time wasted.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first two challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
So I've talked before about, especially in terms of the door puzzle, in terms of the contract between the designer and the player, that gives you something that you have to have faith in, has rules and sense to it that you can make it through, and your role in that contract is to play the game as it's presented, and to follow it to its conclusion, to hear what it's saying, to learn its message. And the message to this game is that the contract is absolutely no longer valid. I mean, like the narrator just said, there's no way, even if you brute force through the first two puzzles, which are obviously designed to frustrate and intimidate the player, this door puzzle, the switches on the other side, there's no way to get through. And in its most blatant, basic terms, this game is saying to you that the contract is null and void. This isn't a friendly game. This game doesn't care about you. This game...
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
It's because you're the player. I mean, and you're entering into that contract, but he's voiding the contract by terms of the very puzzle. It's impossible. Can't do it. And of course, you're a player in a game with a designer, and you trust that that contract is going to be honored, but it's not. It's not here. And
I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew. It wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them...
It's true. It feels very different. There's no warmth, no playfulness, no accessibility, no help. This game is without words, without dialogue, completely. I don't remember well enough to say if all of his games beforehand have tried communication, but this game does not communicate. The only thing that this game is interested in telling you is... I've been trying to avoid saying it, but this game is telling you as a player, fuck off. You're not welcome here. And I don't know why. Why make it if the player's not welcome? Why?
I've been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
This is the first time that the 3 dots have been mentioned through the whole game, and I called him out the first time I saw him. Why do you make this game that is so inherently hostile to the player unless you feel like you have nothing to say to them? Unless you want to frustrate them, you want to confound them, you want them to feel lost and helpless and powerless. Within the narrative of this game, Coda is not a bad designer. Coda is a good designer, but he's making actively bad design choices in the tower, and he's doing it because he's angry at his players for not understanding him, I guess. Or maybe he's angry at himself and feeling like he doesn't really have anything to say at all, and this is the best way that he can tell us that. Um, I don't know. I don't know, but it's dark and it's bleak and it's cold and unfeeling and unfriendly, and I don't like it. I mean, obviously, I'm not supposed to like it. I'm not supposed to feel comfortable here. I'm not supposed to feel welcome here. But okay, pink, new and weird. Strange place for a splash of color that you might never see.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Orange, the orange is it's stone. It's forced into these square designs. It's rigid and caged. You know, the orange is obviously bright and warm, and early on, it's that joyful symbol of Coda and his designs in the room with all of his ideas. It's prominent and it's vibrant and everything, and now it's just lifeless and rigid and forced into this. But what forced him to become a part of the tower? What did it?
Where did I screw up?
Oh God, no.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
I can't go through the door. No, I can. Um. God,
I don't
that's.
think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt. It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
God, that first line of text felt like a punch in the. I'm not Davey. I'm not the narrator, but good God, that hurt for some reason. And they did have the arguments about, is it necessary that a game has to be winnable or playable? Um, I did plant solutions in my work somewhere. There was an answer. I
And
mean,
the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes, giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps you safe. Stop changing my games. Stop adding lampposts. Oh God. Simply
And then
let
you
them.
stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
I'm around you. I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me stress. Low points are just part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet, which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I am talking about, don't say. It's gonna be different. Be done.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work.
Yeah,
but
exactly,
I
you
can't
self-centered
stop
asshole.
myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Oh. Okay. Train station. This might be Grand Central Station. I think I recognize sort of the clock and the skylight. Anyway, train station.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
But it's your games. You didn't make that. I mean, I don't know, man. I might have done the same thing. Might have been the same as you. Okay. Stepping aboard.
Solution.
Yes, we all crave that approval. That there always has to be sometimes something being isn't enough, that we have to make it a part of ourselves. We have to show that to other people to affirm ourselves worthwhile to the rest of them. And I think it's that we all do, except maybe the creators like Coda who do it for the pure joy of it. And it doesn't have to conform to any rules, it doesn't have to have any solutions. It's enough for them to make something that is. And then maybe we kind of go and ruin it.
guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
You know, there's a game for that. It's called Prison Architect. It's pretty good. And this has been a complete prison. There's been no choice. Entire way. This game is ultra linear. There's no branching path that I can recall. Even dialogue choices, I don't think ultimately would make a difference. So this whole game is a prison, self-contained. There's no way out of it, or at least the only way out is.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Yeah, Davey, we're kind of getting that. But at the same time, like I said, I might have done the same thing. So maybe I'm just as bad a person as you. Maybe. Turn around, I'm in dark space. Strange feeling.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
I can sympathize. I can sympathize. I understand where you're coming from. And maybe most other people do too. We're just bad people.
What now?
Question.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Looks like that first level team Counter-Strike. Kinda. They want you to walk through. Feel like it's one choice that I can make, if that makes any kind of sense. It probably doesn't make it. Huh. Shape seemed familiar somehow. It's been a while since I played the first half of the game, so maybe they showed up earlier, but I don't know. But they feel familiar. Okay, and we go the shaft, little elevator. Gonna just wait to get to the exit. If exit. Back into the train station. Oh, it's the beam. Oh, the beam of light that you have to throw yourself into fix everything. That first. Yeah, I think I see what asking me. After almost an hour and a half, I think that our time together is coming here. But of course, this is how it was all gonna end. Now we ascend. Everything. End of game? End of game? Oh, nope. Oh. Oof.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles.
Well, that was incredibly heavy.
You're so tired, but I know that you're strong. So turn back. Turn back.
And that is it. That is the beginner's guide. Wow, that was a quite a trip. Um Plenty of feels to be had. It's a great experience. I don't know that I can, 100% fully call it a game. Maybe more of a story. Yeah, and now I have to go down the rabbit hole of finding out, is this based on a true story? Is Davey real? Is Coda real? Is this all something that actually happened, or is it an entirely narrative-based game. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This felt really personal for me, especially towards the end. And yeah, I'm glad that y'all were there with me to see me through it. And thank y'all for joining me. And I will catch you guys next time.